Mhm. My first live in the first, in the new year. Interesting. No one's still popping up, and I'm not surprised because I guess everyone would be beautifully tucked at home. But at least what I've done today is finished the first chapter of my book, as I promised to myself I will. And I actually managed to get a nice, good week of quiet and rest. I'm here in this lovely apartment from a friend of mine in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Tried to relax and enjoy myself. The enjoying part went well. Relaxing is still picking up. But yeah, I must say I really needed the change of an atmosphere, the change of the environment, and meeting with people from long in my long gone past in my life. It kind of helped anchoring back to, not back to who I was, but back to the things that I forgot about myself that were good and already well established in my past. Hello, one person joining me. I hope you're doing fine. I'm good. Enjoying your beginning of the new year. Drop me a comment, would be nice, so I know who am I speaking to or not. Then just disappear. Either way, I'm gonna keep it very short. It's more to say hi to all my subscribers, the new ones, the ones that stay, all the ones that left, also all the same. I really don't. I'm not counting the numbers. I'm not doing this for the numbers. I'm doing this because at some point it felt like sharing my experience and my story might help someone else, and so far it did. Either way, I'm not gonna spend really too much time here today. Wanted to just see if anybody's gonna pop along, say hi. Um, the major part is I'm preparing for a few things to launch soon. As my birthday is coming up within a few weeks, I intend to provide a couple of things which I planned to do already during the last year, and then it simply didn't work out. Life has its challenges. You throw up some plans, and then God laughs at you, saying, "I think I've got a better plan for you." um. Oh, now I've got two. Hello there. Drop me a comment. I'd like to see who is watching my messy hair and who is listening to my nonsense. And I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I've had a very cool celebration. It was very quiet and peaceful with friends. No, really, no more parties and no big events. Kind of sometimes feels good. Um, think I'd like to summarize a little bit for the 2024 what was going on, and I think in 2025 we might see a significant shift and a change in the people's minds about that, and that's actually fakery, a lot of fakery, whether it's about the AI, whether it's about people and so-called influencers, generally people who live fake lives, lie to themselves, live in denial, cannot or don't want to accept a little bit more realistic outlook on things. And often these days, there's this prevalent new age philosophy and way of thinking of saying, how can you know that anything is real and objective when everything we experience is going on only inside our heads and inside our brain? Well, it's quite easy. Yeah. If you gather more people around, let's say that there's a field, and in the middle of the field, there's a rock. And we're not going to be discussing the color of the grass or anything like it, but we're just going to discuss that there is a rock in the middle of the field. If 10 people go and confirm, yes, I see the rock, they touch the rock, they move it, they know it's there, well, the rock exists. Now, does the rock look like a rock to another species and another animal or a different observer? That is the part that makes things very subjective. That is the experience of the rock itself, and your experience of the field is what makes things subjective. But to determine what's actually real and what's fake, yeah, well, clearly, you can't do it all on your own. And that's why we need each other. And people who are claiming that the AI will replace us and it will do what we do. If that was in the case of, cleaning up the bedroom, doing the laundry, the stuff that really takes a lot of time, that would be great. But as long as we think that AI will continue to design, create better applications and software and better systems and better predictions or whatever the hell that we do naturally, well, good luck. I think the world's going to wake up pretty fast to the fact that we live in a world of fairy tales and in a world of perfectionism that drove large majority of the society into some sort of state of madness, if I can say so, or mental health disorder, disconnection, fragmentation, forgetting that we're not alone, forgetting that people are craving connection, craving human touch, craving love, and craving safety. And not a safety in a sense of keeping your life private, keeping your possessions and belongings always with you, but a sense of the emotional safety about the fact that you can share and you do share stuff about you and about your life with people, with knowing that for the most part people won't be using that against you. And I've learned that purely by seeing how many people know me for a very long time now that I'm here in Slovenia for a while, and they've seen me do good things and they've also seen me do my mistakes before. And interestingly enough, large majority of people don't even pay attention to that anymore. They pay attention to how we all pay attention to how we make each other feel in that real time. Which in a sense, it can become a bit of a problem when we're trying to talk and if we're trying to talk when things are emotional. Because most of the people are going to baseline their dialogue and a conversation in a conflict depending on how they feel at that moment. So their view at that point is probably a bit more zoned in and limited to the present state of mind. But what we forget is bigger picture, longer term. And let's say if you know that some person over a longer period of time has actually been quite consistent with proving that what they say is also what they do, then there's no reason not to trust those people. And the other way around. There's a lot of reasons not to trust a person who hasn't been able to show better side of themselves, regardless of the number of opportunities we give them. So this fakery, how many things look so pretty, so great, so grandiose, but when you actually start looking at the small details of those things, you will start to see most of the time it's just a facade. And behind the facade, there's a very rigid, maybe kind of an outdated structure trying to hold it all together. And for the most part, when we look at the society as a whole right now, how things are, the financial system, the media, the communications channels, which I'm predominantly focusing on the social media and the networks, the more you actually take what is being projected on the screens, and without taking that outside, but just observe how life outside, the real life, really functions, what people say, what people do, how they behave, what they're focused on, then clearly there is a huge contrast here in the picture. Let's say we might try and take one of the glaring examples right now, the situation in Gaza and Israel. There is so much propaganda and misinformation on predominantly coming from the side of trying to defend the Israel and the Zionist agenda. But then on the other hand, you also see a lot of other people who obviously for the good or the wrong reasons are trying to support the rights, the human rights of the Palestinians, and especially children. But the problem is when they start stating, I had a discussion on LinkedIn with someone and they state Islam is the only non-violent religion. Yeah, it won't work. That's fake. It's a lie. The same way, in so many ways, people are trying to convince us that this piece of land belongs to someone because of some historical texts. And if you clearly research it, yeah, maybe this land was promised to the Jewish people, but they had conditions. And regardless of how the world suppressed them and oppressed them before, they were never supposed to respond and react with the same kind of violence. So, in that sense, they're breaking their own laws and their religious dogma while trying to say they have the right to do so because there was an injustice done upon them in the past. Fake, a lie. But somehow now, years, decades after this conflict escalating and escalating and further escalating, people are becoming so aware and so loud about it. If I look at the situation in Gaza right now, I think it was just on the 28th of December or something like that. So by the end of the last month and the end of the last year, they finally destroyed and burned down the last functioning hospital in Gaza. There is no justification ever, anywhere, to attack hospitals and to hurt women and innocent children. I mean, just in 1 week, 5 babies, not even a month old, froze to death in the refugee camps. And the fact that, let's say, some of us used the word genocide 20 to 30 years ago, and now everyone's screaming, just goes to show how fake we used to be. I'm glad that people are now finally opening up and speaking the truth. Gaslighting is not an option anymore. Pretending, faking that something is or isn't there when it's not working anymore. But when it comes to these children and innocent people over there, it's far too late. There is nothing on this planet and in the timeline that we have disposable for us that can ever bring back those lives, that can ever change and repair what was done. If anyone asks me, it's probably going to sound extremely brutal. But the only thing I would say could be and should be just rightfully done right now is take anyone who finds justification for killing children. Send them over there, lock the borders, use all that freaking AI and facial recognition to make sure they can never leave. Enjoy your sacred land, people. But please stay there. Don't ever come around. Not into my neighborhoods, not Amsterdam, not anywhere else. And shout your obscenities while claiming that you're a victim of some racial or religiously fueled attack. It's done. It's over. At the end of 2024, I think the one thing that was really clear is that silence is not an option anymore. Even the most silent and the peaceful people at some point find the breaking point. And that's when things will change and are changing already. And I'm actually looking forward to it because this is nothing bad about it. This is really good. However, when things are starting to look good, it means there will be still a lot of reflection and picking up the broken pieces from the past. And there will have to be some reparation. What's coming in the next 5 years is definitely going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty. But the people who are actually going to pull through it are the people who are going to look far beyond the layers of deception and so-called independence, because the I can do all of this on my own type of independence is bullshit. People who are going to really connect with each other and collaborate with each other, accept each other, and fuel each other's compassion are the people of the future and the people that are here and now. It is only the system that still keeps us separated. It is only the system that still keeps us living in fear and thinking they actually have it all under control. I'm happy to say so, that even if they had everything under control, what no one, not even God, can control is what we decide and when we decide it. I decided to stay real. I decided to be more unapologetic and complete me. No more masking, no more pleasing, and no more looking for the nice words how to put things around so that people won't say, oh, look at him, he's behaving so badly and saying so many bad things. We don't like it. Honestly, I don't care whether you like it or not. I'm not here for the likes or subscriptions because clearly I'm not begging for them like most YouTubers do. I'm here for that one reason, to say things that other people are holding inside their chest but are too afraid to speak. And that doesn't mean just some debate about the political and socio-economic situation right now. It also means a lot of things that we're still denying. There's a lot of problems that we have right now, throwing thousands and thousands of labels around, whether it's ADHD, whether it's neurodivergence and neurotypical, whether it's narcissism, whether it's empath, whether it's this and that. At the end of the day, we are way too quick getting stuck on a label, identifying ourselves or others with labels, when the behavioral patterns in the society right now are pretty much similar. So what would we say? That everyone's a narcissist? No, for sure not. Does everyone have an ADHD? Definitely not. Are people who we call neurotypical actually so normal? Well, definitely not. So this is the catch. I personally if nobody else has done it before me, and I'm sure they have, not just recently, but even in the past, but I will personally continue to challenge these narratives and the so called norms of society. And that's why I'm doing this. That's also why I'm writing my book. And that's why I did not wish you a happy new year, but I wish you a very strong, peaceful, and compassionate new year. And with that, whether you liked this video or not, whether you watched it or not, I do hope you are going to be real for yourself. Peace out.